Good afternoon, families, friends, distinguished guests on stage, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2025. I'm Shelley Grady, and I'm here to welcome you as the Provost of Rachel Carson College, the only one of our 10 colleges at UCSC endowed in a woman's name. Today, we are gathered to celebrate a significant milestone in the lives of Rachel Carson College students, the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, commitment, and community. Many of us affiliated with Rachel Carson College focus in some way on environmental issues. This goes back as far as the original inhabitants of this land. So I'd like to begin our ceremony with a land acknowledgement that recognizes the history and presence of Indigenous peoples on this land. I want to start by inviting you to take a breath. Close your eyes. Feel the ground under your feet. Think about the land you are visiting in order to participate in the ceremony today. Land acknowledgements help create awareness of the cultural erasure of Indigenous peoples and the processes of colonization that have contributed to that erasure. And they allow us to honor the ancestors and descendants who continue stewardship of the land today. The land acknowledgement at UC Santa Cruz was developed in partnership with the Amah Mutsun Tribal Band Chairman, the Amah Mutsun Relearning Program, and UCSC, and I'd like to read it to you. The land on which we are gathered today is the unceded territory of the Awaswas-speaking Yupi tribe. The Amah Mutsun Tribal Band, comprised of the descendants of Indigenous people taken to missions Santa Cruz and San Juan Bautista during Spanish colonization of the Central Coast, is today working hard to restore traditional stewardship practices on these lands and heal from historical trauma. So as visitors to this land today, or students about to depart it, we invite you to show gratitude to the land. Take some time to acknowledge the ground beneath your feet, the nature upon which our campus is nestled between the ocean and the redwoods, and reflect on the communities that have historically lived on and cared for this land. It was on these lands that Rachel Carson students learned to become environmentally aware citizens, students with the capacity to ensure the future of our planet. Rachel Carson, our namesake, was one of the most influential science communicators of the 20th century. I'll share a bit about who she was so that you can understand the threads that bind us today as we bid farewell to the next generation of Rachel Carson College undergraduates. Rachel Carson was a biologist specializing in marine science who used the power of science, writing, and courage to warn the world about the dangers of pesticides and thereby sparked a modern environmental movement at a time when few women were respected in science or publishing. At Rachel Carson College, we educate students about the environment and society. The people who accepted my invitation to join me on stage today, all having different positions on our campus or in environmental action, are professors, staff from different centers on our campus like the American Indian Resource Center, the Education for Sustainable Living program, our Institute for Social Transformation, the Office of Sustainability, University Advancement. We're also joined by the Dean of Social Sciences, a former provost, our advisors, our commencement speaker, Winona LaDuke, and a community guest, all devoting their lives to education, the pursuit of knowledge, and students' growth and success. This special group has come together today as a community honored to observe your accomplishment. Like any graduating class, your success represents countless hours spent studying and striving for excellence. However, y'all arrived here on the heels of a global pandemic. You've adjusted to the normative use of Zoom and you've witnessed and experienced large political upheaval. And yet here you are. Your commitment to your education has brought you to this moment, and you should be incredibly proud of yourselves. One of the biggest choices confronting you now, as you are about to shove off from this land in the Redwoods, is what you'll do next. I invite you to follow in the footsteps of the leaders you'll hear about today, Rachel Carson and our commencement speaker, Winona LaDuke. Their examples remind us that education isn't just about information, it's about the courage to act on what we learn in the service of a greater good. Whether you found your passion in biology, writing, policy, art, you can carry this forward. The skills you've acquired to receive your degree weren't transferred to you simply for your own self-growth, but also for the potential for you to make a contribution. You are on the leading edge of a very different world than the one you were born into, and we've trained you to be engaged citizens of the world. What will your contribution be? When it comes to thinking, about environmental issues and social change, UCSC is a place like no other. In my mind, I am working and you are graduating from one of the most unique universities in the world. This is an iconic place. We have big names come through. We produce influential thinkers. You cannot come here and not be changed. There is a legacy in this forest and on this land. Take it with you, speak truth, ask hard questions, don't settle, and make yourselves proud. Next, I'm going to introduce to you our student speaker, Matthew Chin. Matthew is from Richmond, California, a resilient and multicultural community that navigates economic hardship and environmental challenges. He is the oldest of 4 siblings, having lost one of them during his time at UCSC, and also identifies as autistic. Matthew is in our Educational Opportunity Program and draws on his lived experiences to rise above adversity. Matthew's goal is to be an educator and part-time yakitori chef in order to empower people of color and other underrepresented voices. Please join me in welcoming Matthew to the podium.
Where's the speech? Thank you, Shelley. Before I start, I just want to say, I'm not a grad student. This is my Harry Potter robe. I'm Ravenclaw, baby. And also, happy strawberry full moon. I'll just do this. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to the Rachel Carson 2025 College Commencement, which also marks the 60th anniversary of our esteemed university, UCSC. My name is Matthew Kekoa Alakai Chin. Ooh, shoot. I'm a double major in environmental studies and sociology. Some of my favorite undergrad memories include mushroom foraging, tree nets, Cal coffee, and sunbathing. It is a great honor to be the RCC representative speaker and to continue not only the environmental work and conservation of Rachel Carson, but other UCSC activists, such as the great Angela Davis and Huey P. Newton. I also want to give my deepest appreciation to all my friends, professors, and advisors, but most importantly, my parents, Michelle and Greg. Without them and their loving support, I don't think I would have been able to finish school. As some of you might have noticed, my middle name is Hawaiian. My name, Kekoa Alakai, means strong leader or leader of warriors, and is very special because of the story behind it and the mana it holds. For centuries, indigenous people have taken care of Earth, and Hawaiian people are some of the best environmentalists with their taro fields and elaborate fish ponds. One of my favorite Hawaiian phrases is malama aina, which is to be a steward and take care of the land. It is to be one with the land, to protect it and conserve natural relationships instead of exploiting them. I also want to acknowledge the work of Rachel Carson. Rachel Carson was a female environmental champion / pioneer in policy reform and advocacy. Her work and legacy lives on both academically in her critically acclaimed book, Silent Spring, and her fight against DDT, but also biologically with all the animals she helped save, such as condors, bald eagles, and osprey. Throughout history and many movements, such as the environmental, LGBTQ, and Black abolition, women have always been at the forefront, yet are never credited enough. So as a society, we must move forward and learn to recognize and respect both women's knowledge and strength, to encourage and make space for women to lead. Just as Rachel Carson was a great leader, I too want to be a great leader. For example, national parks are some of the last environmental strongholds we have in the US, and Rachel Carson would want us to protect them. So we must unite to steward these lands and build a better world, not just for us, but for everyone in the world and for future generations, before there is no planet. Instead of wealth, fame, or power, we need a society based on compassion, love, compassion, community, and love for one another. As our motto in the UC system is let there be light, we must be the generation to use our light to help people across all corners of the world by using our collective knowledge, wisdom, experience, and unity, no matter sex, race, age, and so forth. Within each and every one of us, there is immense strength. So we must channel it to end the wars, protect the environment, and build social mobility and equal distribution of wealth. As Haunani K. Trask once said in her 1993 speech, "Do not ho'oponopono, do not make nice. Kuhei, kuhei, fight, fight. Do not settle for less. Stand firm with Mother Nature, for she is ever giving with the food we eat and drink, the clothes we wear, and the very air we breathe." As we transition into our young adult careers, we will all be met with confusion, doubt, and adversity. But we must remember that we are the change, and to be patient and persistent, to let our hearts and passion guide us. During undergrad, I was never the top student or turned in my assignments on time. My life was always up and down, such as housing insecurity, death, and family divorce. But I always had grit, determination, and a social community to help pick me up. I always reminded myself who I was fighting for, what I was fighting for, and the legacy/impact I want to leave in the world. In life, you must remember to fully believe in yourself, because you can do anything you put your mind to. And that through our struggle and adversity, we will all find our true strength and voice. Go Slugs, sexy nomad out.
Thank you, Matthew. I'd now like to introduce you to Winona LaDuke. In considering women who merged knowledge in powerful action aimed at environmental change, I could not be more honored to be in the company of and introduce you to our renowned commencement speaker, Winona LaDuke. Winona is a graduate of Harvard University, an economist, a two-time Green Party vice presidential candidate, a prolific author, and a farmer. She's also a leader in culturally based sustainable development, renewable energy, restoring local food systems, and Indigenous rights. As a member of the White Earth Nation of Anishinaabe, Winona has spent decades at the forefront of movements for climate justice and Native land rights, highlighting the importance of Indigenous knowledge in addressing environmental challenges. In 2007, she was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame in recognition of her leadership and commitment. In 1994, she was nominated by Time Magazine as one of the United States' most promising leaders under 40. In 1998, she was awarded Miss Magazine's Woman of the Year. Her books and knowledge, like Rachel Carson's, shape the way we understand environmentalism and environmental movements, though Winona is a visionary from a different time and with her own legacy. She's a leader. And through the use of her voice, she's inspiring and utterly fearless. As one of our world's most tireless leaders on issues related to the environment and ecological sustainability, Winona has commitment and tenacity that spans decades of action. Please join me in a joyous welcome of her to this land and this community.
Anin Indinoy Magadaduk, that's hello, my relatives. Anin Ashki Anishinaabe. That's the new people. That's who y'all are. I don't know about that Generation X and Z stuff. That's not very Indigenous. You're the new people. That's who you are. I'm really grateful and honored to be here in this territory. I'm grateful for this land, and I'm grateful for this school. You know, I come from a real rural area. I got a little stricken by urban areas when I was in San Jose, and I came across those mountains and I saw the ocean, I saw your college. I said, it's a beautiful place, a sacred place. And that has helped form you. Being here has helped form you, and I'm honored to be here with you. Indun Jaba Uma King. That means the land to which the people belong. Now think about that, because there's a lot of private property, this property, no trespassing. But what about Ah King, the land to which the people belong? So I really think that's what this is. This is land that we belong to. And myself, I'm not a patriot to a flag, I'm a patriot to a land. This is our moment, and this is all of our moment. And I know that you all share with me the prayers for peace, whether in Palestine, in Los Angeles, the Ukraine, or Iran. We want peace. That's what the world deserves. We have prayers for rain. That's what I have in my territory as the fires rage in the deep north. The answer is rain. And then we pray for rain, and I pray for you all and your clarity and courage in your time ahead. This is a moment that my ancestors would refer to as a time of prophecies. And we are the people that are born into this time. This is a time of, a conflict between many worlds. But I often think about, if you want to talk about making America great again, how about when you could drink the water from every stream? Right? That's when it was great, when there were 50 million buffalo and salmon in every river. That's when America was great, and that's what we are about, restoring that relationship that we all have with Mother Earth, and is the way that we're supposed to be as people. In our indigenous knowledge, which is a little different than AI, we have a different view of the world. We're not a linear kind of folk. We're the kind of people that understand things in terms of cycles, birth, death, life, rebirth. In fact, the natural world is cyclical, it's not linear. That's man-made world. And it is best to try to live in accordance with the laws of nature, not the laws of man. That's what we gotta do. But in our teachings, they talk about this time as Anishinaabe people, they talk about this time as a time of the seventh fire in our prophecies. And our ancestors, each time that would come, it would be a new fire. They talk about our people a long time ago, and we weren't perfect either. I don't want you to think Anishinaabe people were perfect, because we botched things up too. The question is, do you have the humility to fix it? That's a challenge, because humans can botch stuff up really well, huh? That's us. But people talked about that. They talked about the coming of different peoples, and some would be good and some would be not so good, and y'all know that's true. They talked about different things that would happen to our people, and we didn't have a word for, the apocalypse that we lived through. We're post-apocalyptic people, indigenous people. We already lived through one, and we're still here. They talked about the coming of people and how people would disappear and things would disappear, and who would think that the University of California would steal whole villages? You know what I'm saying? The anthropologists, we didn't have a word for anthropologists, but they did all that stuff, right? But this time here, they talk about the time of the seventh fire, and it said that the new people, the Oshki Anishinaabe, they'd have a choice between two paths. One path, they would say, would be well-worn but scorched. The other path would be green. And it would be our choice as Anishinaabe people upon which path to embark. I'm pretty sure that's just not us. That's all of us. We got a choice which path we want to take ahead, and we are the people in this time of prophecies that got to make that decision and take those actions. Other teachers talk about time of a new world, leaving the negative and fear behind and having new seeds, being the new seeds. And the Hopi, I'm older lady, and I got to hang out with a lot of really cool old people in my day, and I didn't really think about what they were saying at the time. But they talk about these prophecies of new worlds coming and times of change, earth changes. They all talk about that when I was young, your age. I heard these Hopi people talk, and they talked about how they would know new times were coming when there'd be a gourd of ashes fall from the sky. They said that was the atomic bomb. And they said a new time would be coming when a spider web would appear in the sky. And none of us knew what that was in the 70s. We're like, what is a spider web in the sky? Sounds like Star Wars, sounds like that. Said new world coming, totally new change. They talked about a time of purification, so that spider web in the sky, well, that would be the World Wide Web. That's what they were talking about. They were talking about this time, and you can see it out here, you live out here, and we know that is true. We know that the billionaires of the world are those who have the web in the sky. Bezos, Musk, all them guys, they're the new billionaires. They have a whole other world, right? They have a whole other world they create. And I think it is a big challenge for all of us, because the kings of AI, Bezos, Musk, Silicon Valley, all those guys, They make decisions for this new world that affect all of us. How much energy do they need for those data centers, right? How much water do they need to feed their energy centers? And how many nuclear power plants do they need so that you can ask some question on chat? You know, this is the kind of stuff that we need to look at. We need to look at these questions that we have ahead of us. And I want to say to you, don't be a slave to technology. Don't be a slave to those guys. Know your own power. Don't give it up. Because your power is with the earth. Your power is with Mother Earth, and your power is with the instructions and the teachings of Mother Earth. You know, we know people who live here a long time that there's indigenous knowledge, and you know that true. You know things like you got to learn how to burn selectively, not wait till the fires rage. You got to learn to live in a way of life where you are respectful. You take only what you need and you leave the rest. You heal things up. You offer as a part of your covenant this way of life that you live a good life. It's in our agreement with Mother Earth. Those are teachings that I think are kind of going to lead us forward. And that's why I was so honored to come here to your school, to come here to the Rachel Carson School. When I was your age, I was a student at Harvard, and my father, he had about 8th grade education. He said, Winona, he said, he came to see me. He said, he was real proud of me, but he said, you know, Winona, I don't want to hear your philosophy if you can't grow corn. That's what he said to me. And you know what? That's part of what it is. It's like the plants will teach you, but I'm a corn grower now because someone has to feed the people. In the times of conflict, whatever it is, someone got to feed the people, and you don't want them eating Cheetos, man. You want to eat the good stuff. And that's what you all can do, but keep your feet on the ground. So think of this time. There's a lot of crazy stuff out there, but know that you're the ones who are born here in this moment. And our ancestors would call this the time of prophecies, and I'm going to tell you that that's what it is. You have the agency and the ability to make change. There's no social change fairy going to fix things for us. That is us. Our hands, you know, do your best. Sometimes take a few arrests. You guys shouldn't. I take more. You know, but what I'm saying is you got to be courageous because your ancestors were courageous. And we got to be courageous for those ones that ain't here yet. You know, be thoughtful. And then look at how change is made. Because look, everybody wants things instant now. Everything quick like that. But change isn't made like that. Look at the Klamath River. You know, in my whole life, I never would have thought that all those dams would come down. But here they are down, right? First salmon in that river in so long. First people going in there. And then now, the tribe up there, the Yurok, they got 46,000 acres of land returned because the river needed the land, right? Just remember, that's people like you and me that made that change. That didn't happen like that. It happened because people worked hard, stuck to it, you know, and that's what you got to do. You guys have all the opportunities ahead of you. I'm gonna get my prayers out for you because we believe in you. These guys all believe in you so much. I had such a good time hanging out at your college, you know, and you guys are gonna have good life ahead. Just stay strong, stick with your principles, don't drink too much of their Kool-Aid, it's not good for you. You know what I'm saying? Drink the water. Be a water protector and take care of your families and the generations ahead. Miigwech, Ashki Anishinaabe, my prayers are with you and my hopes too. Miigwech, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Winona. And now we have at last arrived at the moment when we present the graduates.
Matthew Kikoa Alaka E. Chin.
Haley Grace Marshall.
Michelle Hyaran Lee. Judith Jane Eaton. Skylar J. Harmon.
Sonia Rose Vallon.
Sophia A. Caldwell. Zoe Elise Koenigsecker.
Santiago Antonio Ruiz Solis.
Prasumi Chan. Kyle Coe. Ella Louise Chabre. Caitlin Elizabeth Bauer.
Daniel Martinez.
Eric Hao Lin Huang. Jiliang Lin. Vincent Wei Sungdio.
Thomas Chun Hin Wong. Kevin Situ.
Keshav Dubey.
Archer Willems.
Robin B. Hebert. Sky Dylan Dameron. Nicholas Wu Yang Kasali.
Olivia Juxi Yao Weeks. Asher Westcott.
Akai Edwa. Samantha Ray Elfiki. Cody James Franco.
Grace Marsauli Simanjuntak.
Marlene Farias Rodriguez,
Nicholas Francisco Villicana.
Kenny David Alvarez, Varun Khanna, Kevin Guan, Diego Armando Guerrero Fernandez, Tanisha Agarwal, Peter Lukas Karl-Heinz Angermann,
Haley Francis Madden. Carmen Angela Salceda. Torjang. Hannah Justine Rushing. Jalen Paul Sua.
Dylan Michael Foreman, Nico Daniel Espinosa, Jason Lee, Bella Duarte, Liam Doolin,
Isaias Moreno.
Victoria Kathleen Doherty,
Isabella Ann Rossi. Kevin Donovan Nieves Montiel. Angel Tonhatiu Vordeja Lopez. Gavin Pye.
Benjamin Alsander Grant, Farhan Arshad, Chijue Lau,
Luna Navarez. Alessia Ramos.
Jack Alexander Crane,
Nathan Jeong Sudin.
Samuel Joaquin Chavez. Yulis Halan Kloner. Milo Raymond Lynch. Philip T. Bowles.
Haley Amanda Perez.
William Wu.
Ramser Wright. Blake William Parker.
Buster Bayless. Federico Arpellino.
Gustavo Diamantaras Nomi.
Amber Carlson. Chloe Victoria Leyva. Gabriela Garon Goss. Elizabeth Van Cott Breidinger. Carissa Krebs. Isabel Rose Koss.
Joseph William Mahadi. George Frederick Rue. Brandon Walter Ramos. Elena Ruth Viramontes.
Aletta Sakiko Hill.
Miku Suzuki. Rebecca Parokwa. Ian Andrew Wallace.
Ociel Jimenez Flores. Owen Christensen. Quinn Batia Armentrout. Highland Taylor James.
Diego Rodriguez.
Anton Martin Mikhail Jackson.
Sage Spencer Welch.
Awen Akers. Jennifer Eve Jimenez Hernandez.
Jordan Taylor Miller.
Matthew Allen Bernstein.
Colton John Rogalski.
Alexander Daniel Kosen. Allison Emily King.
Sophia Plasias. Nathan Daniel Wong.
Carlo Genesis Patricio Aki. Ashton Allen Jenkins. Aaron Guo. Isaiah Kohler. Gael Ames.
Daniel Thurmond.
Mira Aquiles. Serena Marie Dern. Jacqueline Angeles. Sophia Jacqueline DeRosa. Alyssa Hosmer. Mary Grace Hillenbrand.
Aaliyah Sarah Blaze Moore. Finn Skuld.
Jeffrey Daniel Flores.
Jacob Oceano Robles.
Igor Preciano Bessa. Ileana Gracia Barasa.
Avery Nicole Swanson. Mina LeClaire Tibet.
Robin Lambadakis. Kim Hoang.
Giovanni Rodriguez.
Jesus A. Guzman. Eddie Allen Cox. Jose Anthony Espinosa.
Ryan David Melanson. Joey Daniel Stratton. Lindsay Harumi Shintaku. Nathaniel David Thompson. Yash Arun Rao.
Jacob Cooper Loves.
Laura Zhou.
Kaya McKaylee Hale. Jasmine Lexia Kuna. Alira Elizabeth Ballard. Julian Marcelino Chop. Faith Marie Dominique. Aidan James Adair. Nicholas Dupree.
Victor Whittemore. Miles William Maybrun. Kenneth William Smith.
Bradley Joseph Hare. Owen Timothy Howard.
Caitlin Antonia Munoz.
Jocelyn Hervasio Moran.
Owen Theodore Murphy.
Christian Arisa Guerra. Zoe Elizabeth Beaver. Marin Ann Harrison.
Isabel Salome Tapia. Lauren Suzanne Reinfrank. Marissa Jalen Wallace.
Renee Guillaume. Thomas Theodore Van Bemmelen Jackson.
Nikolai Robert Neeson. Jacob Grafton Odette.
Tim Allen Hale. Callista Kathleen Kerbal.
Zachary Pizzo. Emily Christine Savincha.
Brooke Madison Eckenroth. Skylar Matthew Hewitt.
Susan Sandoval.
Andy Kwan.
Tiwadros Nahum Michael. Charlotte Eileen Walker. Ezekiel Norman.
Dominique Grace Delbenbus. Nelson Stephen Booth.
Zoe Hui Leon Wong Van Haren. Victor Quoc Tuan Ngoyen. Cody Bernard Marshak. Tiffany Angela Mose.
Nat Wei Young Liu. Nicholas Glenn Blair. Jada Lee Cosby.
Alex Pilar Jimenez.
Liam E. Isaac.
Nicholas Powell. Tahoe Ga Kung Ro.
Anthony Moises Espinosa. Ann Lee.
David James Wallace.
Escher Lapre. Susanna Hasmina Corneji. Aidan Cole Graves.
Heman Urban Contreras.
Owen Hassett. Sterling Jackson.
Francisco Morales.
Kevin Christian Call.
Gosha Sergeyevich Moskayev.
Jaisuraj Kaliaswaran.
Fiona Ann Miller. Judah Miro Tapert. David Hu Nguyen.
Luca Patrick Robillard.
Alejandra Mendoza. Clarissa Avila Maldonado.
Yusuf Jamal Burhan. Nisa Kilman Ovets. Beth Hamilton. Lucy Boyd.
Serena Marquesi. Leia Elka Zilberman. Grayson Christopher Shabert.
Luke Gerthofer.
Nicole Foster. Lily Elizabeth Descans.
Stephanie Nicole Zamora Olvera. Alette Sashi Rangel.
Sofia Isabella Giordano. Lake Garston.
Megan Lynn Wegas. Carla Isabel Vaca. Gretzel Ileana Polanco.
Daniela Denise Garcia Ortega. Grayson Thomas Levesque. Victor Guanyi Chen.
Justin Alexander Stillings. Bianca Irene Pacheco. Samuel Joseph Yep.
Timothy Tang Huynh.
David Vuong Ngo.
Victor Lee.
Nicolas Ernesto Robles. Edric Menendez Vianzin.
Maxwell Henry Dewan.
Tony Wynn.
Leo Hernandez. Molly Ann Francis.
Talisha Wilkerson.
Tatum Jane Goodbody. Chloe Millicent Hood.
Brandon Hermosillo.
Anna Gabriela Romero.
Valentina Yuritsi Mejia Argueta.
Samriddhi Samwar. Kelly Faith Ong. Sam Rojas. Tong Van.
Kevin Tawan Det Lee.
Jonathan William Stanger. Leland Walton. Shalina Wesser Singh.
Kaylee Nicole Gladfelter. Jasmine Gomez. Alex Hanley.
Alexa Nicole Leslie Morris. Mango Martinez.
Dana Cobb. Trinity Lee.
Belém Salinas Carino. Priscila Gaeta Rivas.
Marissa Renee Fuller Enriquez. Meg Hoops.
Christopher Coafod McGillen. Melody Summer Williams. Akul Saxena. Iman Saleh Yusuf.
Farishta Ahmadi.
Sumaya Abdelkader Mohammed Noor. Vincent Siu.
Sai Alberto. Max Edward Beldner. Dorothea Drake.
Roy Yu. Jackson Dylan Randall. Alan Zhang.
Justin Maxwell Kahn. Carson Jagger Kennedy. Caitlin Marie Haley. Isabella Madia Esquivel. Zoe Quay Condry.
Fadda Sarah Lutfi Manasra. Georgia Prentice.
Olivia Teresa Gertz.
Walker Mayer.
Dylan Mia Darty. Melanie Baker.
Isabel Margaret Hoffman Perude.
Karina Alexis Lopez. Ephraim Elliott Blitz. Camden Alec Hebert. Brenna Lynn Dazawiecki.
Madison Elise Montoya. Rachel Briella Salama. Greta Runa Parker.
Grace Mieko Huxley. Natalie Holtgren.
Zoe Olivia Wyckoff.
Piper Danielle Cornett. Heidi Diamond Dyer.
Sophia Rose Skager.
Andrea Nadine Beltran Castillo. Zachariah Joseph Granberry.
David Moon. Ryan Marshall Wilson. Zeno Oka. Ian Michael McCloskey.
Grant Adrian Kromhout. Max Froda Bentley.
Ethan Schaefer Rogers.
Charlotte Ann Constantine. Caitlin Marie Donovan.
Sarita Parikh.
McKenna Catherine Chasmar.
Lindsay Jean Zintek.
Hushi Karina Dio,
Manuel Santiago Marschutz. Nakoa Shoemaker. Alan Torres. Agustin Ignacio Macera.
Hamza Mohammed Halimi, Cesar Uriel Hernandez Plasencia, Lucy Rose Anderson,
Lucy Ray Rodriguez.
Sienna Lucia Leslie Green, Valeria Elizabeth Cuevas, Kyle Chen, William Bradley Demarest, Hanna Taylor Hekkanen, Ella Rose Kaplan,
Athena White Allen. Parker Emily Taylor.
Seri Tsunun Aldana, Emma Marie Carpenter, Olivia Zoe Berman, Lucy Isabella Barnes, Sadie Mae Gardiner, Jennifer Lee,
Daniel Casey Wolf. Peter Wylinga.
Ava Riley Burke, Erin Kathleen Langness, Annika Lauren Lindroos, Joseph Orion Clark, Brooklyn Bronte Barton,
Frank Nguyen. Kent Thomas Rapier.
Reese Morgan Garcia. Emma Garcia. Nicole Deanna Arceo.
Michael Ochoa Cortez. Amelia Lauren Sharp. Zara Petiwala.
Meghana Chalamala. Danielle Wallach Kelly. Everett James Koontz.
Vanessa Swee. Kaylee Jaden Kwakahike Aloha Quist. Allison Taylor McCurdy. Ellie Maureen Sita.
Isabella Mingwei La. Ezra Frari.
Lucas Anthony Varga. Danny Scott Jack Sabin.
Phoenix Chandra. Abigail Caitlin Jabalis. Adam Jonathan Cobley. Serena Lou Beal. Coral Lynch.
Guillermo Eduardo Martinez. Sebastian Sidor.
James Daniel Froelich. Nicholas John Brosnan Regalado. Jake Richard Granger.
Eric Lucian James Perman. Zachary Matthew Ruji. Yiheng Zhang.
Miles Anthony Davis.
Dylan Chase McKelvey. Tobias Samuel Williams.
Diego Gabriel Veramendi Logan. Iyasu Haile Abraham. Tyler D. Hoff. Buddy Cooper Dallas.
Luke Desmond Sullivan.
Sam George Bartosik Velez. Annie Michelle Grimes. Ella Marie Califano. Elena Isabel Christine Busarok. Caroline Kiara Block. Adrian Flores.
Chloe May Waimrin. Rafaela Alana Gebbia Pinetti.
Amy Coronado McDaniel. Hannah Rose Conte.
Roy Yang. Noah Sherrod.
Amy Fuller. Jessica Duarte. Brianna Marie Lopez Cruz. Abigail Ferreros. Isabella Majarian Downer.
Sean Sukasa Wakabayashi. Jackson Thomas Schneidau.
Vivian Sky Gerstein. Asker Christian Abildgren. Journey Temperance Bliss.
Derek Matthew Vaca Molina.
Lauren Day. Lily Gregorian. Alexandra Aguirre. Rosalind Gracie Flores.
Nicole Sotomayor Torres. Fernanda Ortiz.
Carol Elizabeth Carrillo.
Helen Margaret Gutierrez Cruel. Lexi Lynn Erickson. Phoebe
Brianna Montalbano.
Phoebe Grace Keogh. Elissa Mae Daniel.
Zoe Brianna Madvin.
Justine Ava Katz.
Walter Woolley. Jared Vikram Naidu Reist.
Timothy Epstein. Evan Gabriel Lake.
Runa Norder Haug. Marissa Louise Saracen. Naomi Morris. Remy K. Pavlik. Norman Shumin Ju. Ethan James Palmer. Jacob B. Tarango.
As the last students are making their way back to their seats, and before we congratulate them as they go forward from being undergraduates to graduates and alumni of Rachel Carson College, we will ready for our final words. Words of conferral are a formal statement made by campus chancellors or executive vice chancellors that mark the official moment degrees are awarded. This is a ceremonial step, and after the conferral that will conclude our program. Once all of the students are seated, our Executive Vice Chancellor, Lori Kletzer, will speak the words of conferral.
Students, please rise if you are able. Graduates, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Regents and the President of the University of California, I now confer upon you the degrees Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Sciences, or Music, as appropriate, with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. You may now move your tassels from right to left, signifying the conferral of your degree.